Welcome to Rediscovering the Beatles with Mark Morse. I'm Mark. Today is one of those days where I reserve the right to talk about other things other than the Beatles. And today it's going to be a thread from the flip side with JC. Josh has created a thread where we mention 3 albums that are great, but were commercial flops. And when I first heard of this, these albums came to mind very quickly, and so I just wanted to do this thread and be part of the fun. I'll link down below to the flip side's original post so you can join in the fun too. But the first one that came to mind was Badfinger's Wish You Were Here. Now, this album didn't do well commercially, not because it just wasn't appreciated by the masses, but because of problems between Warner Brothers and the management of Badfinger. If you ever want to read a depressing catalog of how cutthroat the record business was and probably is, read up on Badfinger. Talk about bad luck, bad management, and just the tragedy of the band itself. But this album is a great album. Many critics feel this is one of their best works. I also feel that this is one of their best works. Wish You Were Here. Just some great songs. On side 1, they have the one that I just always love is Dennis. It's kind of a heartwarming song. Side 2, to me, though, is just masterful, ending with the medley, Meanwhile Back at the Ranch, and Should I Smoke. Just power pop at its best. Great album. If you haven't heard this one, give it a listen. It deserves your time. The second one that came to mind is 1981's Neil Young's Reactor. Now, Neil blames Reprise Records for just not promoting this album enough for its dismal sales. Admittedly, though, this was a departure from Neil Young. Some of the songs, very repetitive lyrics, just a different sound. He's paired up with Crazy Horse here, but it is a really hard-rocking album. And if you haven't listened to it for a while, give it a spin. I think you'll be impressed. The trick with this album is you want to turn the volume up. It's a really raucous album with just Crazy Horse and Neil Young just doing great things. Some have said that this was during a time when Neil was dealing with his special needs child, and a lot of the training involved repetition, and that's why it's like this. I have no idea if that's true or not. That's something I read probably on Wikipedia. Just a great song. Surfer Joe and Mow the Sleeves, I love it. Shots, which ends the album, just a very powerful song. Starts off with Opera Star. I love that song. So Neil Young's Reactor, number 2. And then I'm going to finish up with John Cale's Music for a New Society. Now, John Cale himself said, this was probably the most well-received album he's ever had, but it was a failure. It was a flop commercially. Thing about John Cale, though, is he's not everybody's cup of tea. This thing is a masterpiece in my mind. It is emotional agony to the point of madness almost, just done in a beautiful way. 1982. I am going to talk about this album in another segment I'm going to do soon, but this this has to be put on this list for me just because I love this album so much, and I know it wasn't financially successful. Anyway, those are my 3 albums that I feel are awesome albums, but just weren't commercially successful. So thanks to Joss at the flip side for doing this thread. Again, I'm going to link to him down below. Feel free to join in the thread, or you can even answer what your 3 albums would be in the comments below. When you go over to the flip side, be sure and sub to Josh. And while you're at it, might as well sub to me. I need it a lot more than Josh does. And I sure would appreciate it. But that's up to you. Thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you all very soon.